For centuries, the Catholic world has spoken of saints who seem to live with one foot on earth and the other already in heaven. Saints who, even in childhood, carried a mysterious awareness of suffering, death, and eternity, long before anyone around them realized what was coming. In the modern age of technology, computers, and the internet, few would expect such a soul to appear. And yet, Carlo Acutis did. Born in London in 1991 and raised in Italy, Carlo Acutis was, on the surface, an ordinary boy of the digital generation. He loved video games, coding, computers, and helping friends with technical problems. But behind this seemingly normal life was a profound spiritual depth that stunned priests, theologians, and eventually the Vatican itself. What makes Carlo's story even more extraordinary is what happened before his death, moments, words, and actions that many now interpret as prophetic. Years after Carlo's passing, his mother, Antonia Salzano Acutis, began to speak publicly. Not as someone seeking fame or recognition, but as a mother trying to understand the mystery of her son. What she revealed would quietly shake believers across the world. According to Antonia, Carlo had always spoken about death with an unusual serenity. While most children avoid the topic or fear it, Carlo spoke of death as a passing, a doorway rather than an ending. He often said that everyone is born as an original, but many die as photocopies. For Carlo, life had one clear purpose: to reach heaven and bring as many souls with him as possible. In the months leading up to his illness, Carlo's spiritual intensity increased. He attended daily Mass, spent long hours in Eucharistic adoration, and insisted on praying the Rosary every day. His devotion to the Eucharist became so central that he called it his highway to heaven. He created an extensive online exhibition documenting Eucharistic miracles around the world, work that would later travel to thousands of parishes across continents, even after his death. What Antonia later revealed is that Carlo seemed to know his time would be short. One day, without any apparent reason, Carlo told his mother that he would not live to old age. He spoke calmly, without fear or sadness. Antonia initially dismissed the comment, thinking it was the imagination of a sensitive child. But Carlo repeated similar statements more than once, always with the same peace. He began giving away his belongings. His video games. His money. Even small personal items he cherished. When asked why, he simply said he would not need them anymore. To those who knew him, it seemed strange, but no one imagined what was coming. Shortly before falling ill, Carlo asked his mother to take him on pilgrimages to Assisi and other holy places. He felt deeply connected to Saint Francis of Assisi, often saying that poverty of spirit was the greatest freedom. Assisi, he said, was where he felt closest to God. It would later become the place where his body rests today. Then came the illness. At first, it appeared to be nothing more than a mild flu. But within days, Carlo's condition deteriorated rapidly. Doctors diagnosed him with an aggressive form of leukemia, one so rare and severe that it offered little chance of survival. The speed of the disease shocked everyone. Antonia recalls that when Carlo was told about his diagnosis, he did not react with panic. Instead, he offered his suffering for the Pope and for the Church. These were not words a typical teenager would say in such a moment. It was as if Carlo understood that his suffering had meaning beyond himself. In the hospital, Carlo continued to speak about heaven. He told his mother that he was happy because he would soon meet Jesus. He asked not to be given extraordinary medical treatments, accepting God's will with remarkable maturity. Antonia later said that she felt she was not accompanying a dying child, but witnessing a soul preparing for something sacred. One of the most chilling revelations came when Carlo spoke about his own funeral. He requested to be buried in Assisi. He chose the clothes he would wear. He even expressed how he wished to be remembered, not as a miracle, but as a normal person who loved God deeply. To his mother, these requests were almost unbearable. And yet, Carlo spoke of them with tranquility, even joy. Carlo died on October 12, 2006, at the age of 15. After his death, strange things began to happen. People who had never met Carlo reported feeling called to pray through his intercession. Testimonies of healings began to emerge quietly, then more frequently. A young boy in Brazil was cured of a rare pancreatic condition after praying to Carlo. Doctors could not explain it. The Vatican later recognized this miracle, leading to Carlo's beatification in 2020. Antonia began receiving letters from around the world. Parents, teenagers, priests, and even non-believers described dreams, visions, and inexplicable encounters connected to Carlo. Many said they felt he was still working, still evangelizing, now from heaven. What troubled Antonia most was how accurately Carlo's words before his death aligned with what happened afterward. He had once told her that after his death, many people would know him. At the time, this seemed impossible. Carlo had lived a hidden life, far from fame. Yet today, he is one of the most beloved figures among young Catholics worldwide. He is often called God's influencer, or the patron saint of the Internet. Antonia has stated that Carlo never called himself a prophet. He never claimed special visions or revelations about the future. And yet, his awareness of suffering, death, and his mission appears almost supernatural in hindsight. Was it prophecy? Or was it deep union with God? The Church remains cautious, as it always does. Officially, Carlo is honored not for predicting events, but for his heroic virtue, humility, and love for Christ. Still, the testimonies remain. The words remain. The peace remains. In interviews, Antonia often says that Carlo taught her more in 15 years than many people do in a lifetime. She describes him as her little teacher, someone who helped her rediscover faith not as tradition, but as a living relationship. Perhaps the greatest prophecy Carlo left behind was not about his death, but about our time. In an age dominated by screens, algorithms, and distraction, Carlo showed that holiness is still possible. That technology can be used for good. That young people can live radically meaningful lives without rejecting the modern world. Before he died, Carlo once said that sadness is the look of someone who does not look toward God. And maybe that was his final message to the world, a quiet reminder that eternity is closer than we think. Today, thousands of pilgrims visit his tomb in Assisi. His body, found incorrupt in certain aspects, lies dressed in jeans and sneakers, a powerful symbol that sainthood is not reserved for another era. As his mother continues to speak, one truth becomes increasingly clear. Carlo Acutis did not fear death because he lived fully. And what he revealed before his passing was not a prediction of doom, but a testimony of hope. A hope that continues to echo across the world.